I wear a suit, and underneath the suit, you can see a Hawaiian shirt, by the way.
Beautiful. Hey everyone, there we are, ready to go. It's been a couple of weeks due to real life eating all of my time and resources. But we are back for another session of the evening shrubberies. So, having said that, we will jump straight into recap of last session, starting with Estrella.
Yeah, so last time we entered the hidden crypt underneath the Black Abbey, where we stumbled right into a dark ritual that the shard of, what's it called, Ixop or something, was performing, apparently trying to turn a very powerful magical artifact into something evil. We tried to interfere, but were blocked off by some now undead champions or something. Very strong enemies, a lot of enemies, and we were struggling to get through. The only one able to slip through was Zara, then disturbing the ritual, being the main target of the shard. But that was the momentum we needed to break through to defeat the enemies there and focus on stopping this ritual once and for all. We managed to do that and then got healed by the artifact again. But we did not do it without help from outside that came in the form of a raccoon. Mara.
Yes, I appeared sitting in a chair from where I was having a wonderful meal to a bunch of strange individuals and undead that needed smashed. And it looks like I have, in a flash, changed places again as someone else is back. What? What is going on around here? And I will pass it on to the master of eating sheep, Iodi himself.
Yeah, it was a pretty combat-heavy session, certainly. There's people climbing on the walls and giant spiders. And I think that we were on our way out of there because we were afraid that bad things were going to happen, if I remember correctly. I let this truck go by so I can hear myself talk. Yeah, it got a little spicy there in battle there for a minute. It was definitely scary. Luckily, we got Quinn up where he needed to be to shut a lot of that down. Though I don't think we wanted to. Here, let me turn this up. There. Is that better, Joker? Yeah, and I think we were on our way out after that. And I will pass it to Medorth.
Okay, I wasn't there.
I figured you were talking about what you were doing when you weren't there, you know?
Oh, I can do that. Well, I was with the group, and next thing you know, I'm fighting with a bunch of dwarfs in the mountains of Rakathum. Their king is missing. With a militia with a lion on their shield, with the commander as Marshal Belly Tumbler, I think his name was. I There's more to it, but we'll get that into the game. Pass it on to Marisol.
Yeah, so we got down to the basement. We killed a bunch of bad stuff. I almost got surrounded by vampires. Thankfully, the pain train, aka Preacher, came and saved my ass. So that's good. Sarah managed to disrupt the ritual, so we didn't die horribly, all of us. And something weird happened to Preacher once the stone was back to normal. So maybe you would take it away?
Yeah, there was a lot of combat, as previously stated. And as I am one of the more mobile fighters, I was hesitant. Should I go forwards, back? Should I try and help the back line? I was running back and forth basically, and unfortunately, there was an evil counterpart monk, and he was even more zippy than I was because he went all over the place and back to the front line. I was considering going forward, but then the entire vampire crowd decided Mary was a very tasty snack, so I had to go backwards instead. Sarah saved the day going forwards and smote the crystal, which is the threat itself. So the crystal was saved, and it turns out there is something strange about that thing. Some kind of interplanar anchor. The energy from it awoke a lot of things within Preacher, which I've requested to play out a small scene once we're done with recap. Magnus.
While coming in, we met up with a woman called Ingrid de Hemel, who the rest of the group have met before, and she told us that a champion that the group knew, called Albertine, had taken a wound and died. Magnus was quite keen to make sure that she was beyond all help. We went down. We had the fight. Magnus did his best to hold the front line and heal where he could. Ended up healing himself as well. And I think we've mentioned everything else apart from something between Magnus and Estrella. But Estrella is currently getting the hell away as fast as she can. Has anyone not gone? Nope. I think that Ed, did you go?
I don't really have much to add. I got beat up pretty badly by a lot of vampires crawling on walls. That's about it. So kicking it over to Shago.
Yes, it is I, Le Jogo. We will give Preacher his moment in the sun to play out some scenes before we start on the session proper, so that he can get his artistic interpretation of events.
Well, the thing that happened with Preacher was he basically stood transfixed, staring at the crystal for quite some time, and then tried to move a little bit closer, but instead he got possibly some kind of sensation because he turned around and ran straight out with face twisted in pain and was found stumbling in the corridor, helped by Magnus very kindly. And Preacher was mumbling something rather disjointed. All around the green gavel, the grass grows so green, and all the pretty maids are fit to be seen. As if on some kind of song from days gone. And he kept talking about, I remember, I see her, I know. I can see my mother. I remember when they took me from her. And all over Preacher, there's intense runic light glowing through the runes that keeps him animated, limbs and runes appearing more clearly than ever and stronger than ever as well, in a heartbeat pattern. It seems he has grown more aware of whatever is going on with him. His past that was long forgotten has started to reappear. It takes quite a bit of time before he's actually able to talk to anyone. Almost upon and exiting from the sub basement. That's the point of where I actually think that we should start.
Right. Oh, what? Sorry.
No. And when Estrella sees him like this, she's getting closer to Marisol. You think he is still fit for battle?
We'll see once we get out of here. But I think he needs some time. I don't want to
Alright.
disturb him right now.
Alright, so we better keep him in the back for now.
Seems like he's got a screw loose.
Maybe you can have a look out for him. I mean, should be easy for you.
I'll keep both my eyes on him for now, I think.
Alright then, let's go. We still have to save your friend.
Magnus's wrist reaching out to lay a hand on Preacher and is just helping him along, guiding him gently. You'll be alright, Preacher. Yeah, let's just get out of here, aye?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't want to be near that thing anymore. That
I
thing
know.
was. There was something strong about it. I feel perfectly fine, except all jumbled. There's something wrong here. Right, I don't know.
Take your time. We'll sort it out. You'll be able to talk about it later, aye?
Yeah,
Maybe the fresh air will help, my friend, aye?
forget I don't breathe.
Aye, but it might cool your pottery down a bit.
That's true.
Whatever happened, I imagine there's a fair bit of overheating happening. Yeah?
I gained back a lot of memories in one go, and it's. I know from my earliest 8 years now, but not from anymore. I remember the anger that I had towards the gnomes that took me.
You
Ah.
remember being taken. Aye,
Yes.
well, that's a lot to dump on any being all at once. Doubtless, you got a bit of a brain fever. Don't worry, we'll look after you.
Wicked people.
So with 23 Arcana, does it seem like this is magical interference with Preacher?
It's difficult for you to pin down with magic that old and different from what's being used today, but you're fairly confident that it's some sort of by effect from being in close proximity to that warding stone. But you're gonna need a library and some research time to be able to say anything exactly about what happened.
Okay. You'll just stay quiet about it then?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's following along.
Right. There's as you get up into the courtyard, you can hear sounds of battle from outside of the walls still, but there's a popping sound as Zara disappears down into one of those glyphs that brought tumult only half an hour earlier. And then Mador pops out, looking pretty battered, with lots of new dings and scrapes on his armor. It looks like he's about to take a bite out of something that's fresh grilled and smells delicious. You can see that one of the gauntlets on his hands doesn't really fit the armor aesthetic, looking more square and dwarven in design, with an obvious clockwork component built into it.
Come on, can't we just get all our people back without someone disappearing again?
Obviously not. Welcome back.
Well, let's give you a quick appearance of how I look. I got a bandage around my head still. I got about a week's growth. Looks like I'm trying to start growing a goatee. I'm looking around like, where are the dwarves?
What dwarves?
What dwarves?
Aye, what does? Welcome back, madam.
I I was fighting. We were taking actually a breather, but we've been fighting undead up in the Rakathul Mountains with the dwarves and a militia that has a lion's head on the shield with a huge ogre as their leader. Marshal Belly Tumbler, I think is his name. It was intense fighting.
Doesn't it ring a bell?
A lot of undeads, vampires, lich, mummies. Yeah, it was massifying. They're looking for the king. The king has disappeared. What am I here for?
Did you hit your head too?
No, I should have. That's when I should have zigged when I zagged and took a hit to the head. It's all right. The dwarf cleric took care of it.
Yeah, well, we just took care of the shard of Ixtab downstairs, and now we're trying to save your friend that is probably somewhere outside these walls.
Where's Zara?
She was there
Holding
a
a-
moment ago, but you hid in a place.
Holding
Yeah,
a,
she poofed, gone, and you poofed back. It's weird.
holding a falchion pointed at the new elf friend of yours.
Oh yeah.
He's with us.
The
Oh.
one that disappeared when you appeared.
Oh, okay. Can I have the gobbler egg leg? The pointing at the haunch of meat in Medora's fist.
No, this is my supper.
Damn. Pulls out
Who
a
are
pie.
you?
I'm sure
Who are
he'll
you?
trade you a pie for it.
Temelt, nice to meet you.
He popped in when you disappeared. He's been right handy to have around.
Could we maybe catch up on the news a little bit later? Still a battle going on outside?
Yeah, we should definitely get moving.
More undead, or what was upstairs?
More undead.
Ah, okay. I'm good with this.
Yeah, and apparently someone that this group knows that is somehow different than before.
Richard looks around for a ladder or stairs up and takes off. Because, yes, battle. Better than internal turmoil.
And Marisol, I have something for you.
Oh,
I'll give you a firearm, dwarven make. They
Oh,
use this
wow.
very well.
can I take a look at it while we're walking?
It's a nice
Excuse
gun.
me. Excuse me, pardon me. Just need to get past it after preacher.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Right. Well, what are you all planning on doing?
I am checking out this new gun.
Richard's
Well,
heading up on the wall to look outside of the status of the battle days and choose where to actually jump in.
Same, trying
Magnus
to
is
get
with him.
trying to
I'll
get a
join
picture
Preacher
of
up on the
battle
wall.
outside.
Following the people that know the way out of here, because I certainly don't.
yes. Sorry, Estrella, what were you doing?
Trying to get information about the battle outside, so also heading up the wall. Need to see what is out there before we are opening the gates.
Right. Well, starting with Marisol, it looks like a very nice set, really, of a revolver of some sort and a what looks like a shotgun type weapon, but shorter, with a shorter stock and a shorter barrel than the one the blunderbuss you have. Both of them very nicely made, enameled with, well, from the use of leaf gold and white enamel and crests and that sort of thing. Probably used by some royal regiment or high-ranking noble.
Oh,
There
wow.
seems to be a fair amount of ammunition for both of them being brung in as well, but you're going to have to sit down and fiddle with them for a bit before you can even use them, because the world of firearms is moving very fast these days, and you've actually never seen this design. But looking at the multiple chambers in the revolver and like the single one you have in your pistol, this, if you don't get this right on the first go, it could have some concussive consequences.
Okay, I'm gonna slide them up my sleeve for now and make sure I put up some time to look at them later once we actually don't have to be afraid to be jumped. So how does it look up here?
Coming up, you can see the footmen from Wallon that have been following you, and the scouts are gathered around a large rock on the battlefield, where two of the 8 knights have dismounted and seem very heavily wounded, but still alive.
What's your status?
The most of the scouts and your archers are on the left flank, kind of moving from cover to cover and peppering any targets of opportunity with arrows. Seems like roughly half of the orcs have joined with your crew, and, or have kind of stiffened up the left flank there. Yeah, with the against both other orcs alive and now undead having been raised, and the undead. The knights, you can still see 6 of them charging through the ranks of undead, and just arms and pieces of skull and body parts kind of flying everywhere as the thresher of 6 heavily armed and quite agitated knights mow through the ranks when they have the opportunity, wherever they see the opportunity. But most of the undead forces now, it seems, commanded by the human that was recently referred to as a dwarf by several others. The human female in dwarven type gear with a bastard sword, I believe it was, and a shield. Taking charges from the knights, deflecting them, while most of the undead troops are just walking through a hole in the ice, dropping into the cold waters. Actually retreating in fairly good order, losing way less than, well, most living armies. At least some would lose their nerve here and get ridden down, but the undead are doing it in pretty much the best order you could have assumed they'd be able to, even for a professional living army. Yes, Estrella.
Seeing the situation outside and that this battle is still going on, Estrella steps up to the wall so that she is very well visible, and then she is shouting, "The stain of the shard has been cleared from this abbey. It is under our control and freed. Cease any unnecessary resistance."
Give us a diplomacy roll. Ah, well, it's there's a cheer from all of the forces you were a part of, and it seems a lot of the orcs that have joined they're not really certain what's going on, but they're cheering anyway, like yay, hurrah! The peasants rejoice, woo! While the undead forces are still retreating back to the water. Looking at it, you can see that in addition to clashing with the relief force from Aloy and the orcs, the undead have very clearly fought among themselves. There are huge piles of skeletons and zombies and other sorts of variations of undead where they've fought each other.
This the human, is it Cal?
Sure looks like it.
Give us a perception check there, Mother. Well, you look closer as the last of the undead drop into the lake, and the one with the shield and the sword that's been holding them kind of gets up out of the fighting crowd for a moment. You can see that her skin is now pale, almost white, and there's a dark blue glow to her eyes, but it's very clearly Cal that looks Mador straight in the face over the field of ice and salutes him with her sword before she takes one step back and disappears into the ice and the murky depths below.
Yes, that was Cal.
I'm sorry, my friend. I know you hope to be able to bring her back.
Well, she is back, kind of.
This
Aye.
doesn't count.
I mean, at least it looks like she wasn't our enemy. I don't know, but she just went back. She could have fought us, so
She saluted me and then disappeared to the ice. So I take it that not as hostility.
Not at the moment, anyway.
all right, then let's open the gates so that the survivors can get in and treated.
And empty this place of all that is unholy.
There's still undeads milling about there now. They're all more or less gone now too.
The undead have fallen all fallen back into the waters of the lake. At least the undead you saw, like what was falling back with Cal there was taking a look at it, mostly skeletons. Some looked like zombies at first glance, but it was at a closer look, it was skeletons wearing gear. And probably some other types of undead within the ranks there that you didn't manage to identify. But looks like, I mean, looking at the battlefield, seems like one of the sides that's been clashing aside here has mostly been skeletons, while the other one's been mostly zombies. Zombified villagers of the city around and the abbey itself, to be more correct.
It will take ages to rebuild this if they even want to.
If they want to try, they have to get well first.
Well, we've taken it back. That's the first step.
For sure. You helping me with the gate here?
Of course.
Considering what's in the basement, someone probably should.
I don't know if we've fully taken it back. I mean, there's still undead under the water, frozen, that are just gonna, come back at some time.
Well,
I doubt they will stay down there.
we'll have to look at the map then and see where they might come up. But for now, I'm going to help Estrella opening this gate.
Let's get the gates open.
I'll give him a hand too.
Yeah, getting the gate up it's easy enough. Yeah, especially with the bunch of you who are mostly very, very strong. And as the gate comes up, the knights ride up to it, looking like they're ready for a fight, but not expecting one. And they, when they see you inside, Sir Roland, easy to recognize as he's got the visor of his helmet up. Like, Capitan Marisol, how
Sir?
did your fight go?
We managed to disrupt the ritual, and the holy stone is back to where it should be.
Very well. It seems we were joined by at least half of these orcs, just the way they said. But, some of them have been dipping into unnatural powers. I believe they may be a threat when we need to move off. For now, though, they have been driven off.
Yeah. How was your fight?
Confusing, to say the least. Half of these orcs, they charge, and then they move over, form up with the undead. Then half of them seem to go feral, attacks the other half, attack us. While the living ones, they were just glad to have somebody bleeding to fight beside. But the undead, it was very strange. Some of them, like a well-oiled army, with slightly antiquated tactics, but very effective. The others, like, well, mindless undead. I don't know what to make of it. But that commander of theirs that pulled her remaining forces under the ice obviously had military experience and knew what she was doing. If I didn't know better, I'd say she was dwarf trained when leading men.
She was brought up by dwarves.
Ah, Samador, it's good to see you. Compliments on your sneaking skills, my friend. I didn't even see you enter the castle when we assaulted. You know this lady?
She was one of us.
She was one of us. She died when we were coming to the Black Abbey. She's the one we're trying to get back to resurrect.
I'm sorry to say, Samador, that may prove difficult. We tried to intercept her and clap her in irons so we can bring her to you, but there was something on the flanks harrying us, like a shadow or a cloud of smoke. Well, two mostly, one in the shape of a man and one, it seemed, in the shape of a bear, harrying us from the flanks with arrows, and and faints. We tried charging them down, but like morning mist or the smoke from a wood fire, it was very difficult to grasp.
So these mist were attempting to stop you from intercepting Cal?
Not so much mist, I'd say, as maybe smoke, but difficult to say. It was trying to interfere, indeed.
Well, Cal did salute me as she disappeared into the ice, so she recognized me.
This is getting weirder and weirder.
And to be honest, I don't feel a threat from her.
Well,
No.
sir, I tell you, she was plenty threatening when we fought on the fields, but I will take your word for it. For now, however, we need to get the survivors in here, get this abbey secured, warm, and pray
help.
us back in the cathedral to help chase away any other untoward evils.
Yeah, we should get the survivors from the tower.
We should. And lay out our dead.
Aye. I want to go and take a look at this champion that was mentioned. Albertine?
Albertine.
Aye. Make sure the lady gets a proper interment.
I'll head for the tower to go get the survivors down from there.
Well,
I will be triaging the people as they come in. Gravely wounded this way, partially wounded that way. You'll live over here.
Do you mind if I join you, Timolt? 2 healers are better than 1.
Yes, need the help.
yeah, it's clear to you that the 2 knights who have been gravely wounded have both been. The wounds say they've been shot with arrows, but there aren't any actual arrows there. But, where they would have been hit with arrows, they're severe burns, in addition to the stab wounds from arrows.
This is very strange. I've never
Very.
seen the like.
Medora's going to take off his left gauntlet and start winding it up.
Yep. And for anybody looking, it's obvious that he's missing 2 fingers. Although you all saw those fingers moving when he was wearing the gauntlet. For those skilled in medicine, it seems they've been bitten off at the knuckle from the healed wounds there.
These wounds do not look new, like a few days old. You were only gone for a few minutes.
I've been fighting in the Rakathu Mountains for 1 week.
Which seems clear, because all of his rations currently are not only of dwarven make, but probably baked sometime today, unlike most of your rations, which are getting close to a week old.
Would you all like some fresh baked rations?
Aye. After you let me look at your hand.
Hand seems as fully healed up by probably both a doctor and a cleric as possible.
It's a neat job. What happened?
So, all fighting undeads, liches, vampires, mummies. You know,
Aye.
normal day.
I'll tell you what, I thought
In the area with all the wounded, I'm going to be casting Soothing Blossoms. As soon as I figure out how.
Okay.
I'll go help with the wounded too, with my medical background.
Yeah, the rations also being portioned out. Of course, it's not a full meal for everyone, but everybody at least gets a taste. And you see a lot of very red faces and eyes tearing up and people coughing, but with big smiles on their faces, because these rations, of course, are made for dwarven soldiers who, like most soldiers, like their food a bit spicy, and dwarves, innately being resistant to poison, have a different idea of what's spicy than most humans do.
And just let me know how many med checks and or otherwise we
We'll just stick with the one.
Yeah.
Tunnel's a bit off his game, but Magnus has got control of it.
You want me to roll
Everybody else
medical
just
too?
yeah, but unless you can manage to get over a 31, you're still only going to be assisting. But you are getting control of the situation, getting wounds cleaned and bound, in some cases stitched.
And with that spell, there's everybody gets a better save against poison or disease effects if they have any dealing with
Ooh,
undead things.
that is handy with the blossoms kind of falling in the air. You can see several of the soldiers and two of the knights are trying to or starting to feel better as the wounds on their arms and faces that were really red and inflamed are starting to go down to just regular lacerations instead of being inflamed.
infected.
Infected, yeah, and inflamed. Like the not the on fire type, but with inflammations. Yes, words. I know words. Several of them. While Marisol and Estrella are up on the battlements, kind of looking at, keeping watch and looking out. You can see the few orcs that didn't join your people seem to be just pulling out into the woods. Glint of madness in their eyes, having resisted the ritual that tried to make them undead, but losing something important in the process. The other orcs, again, you can see the majority of them still have like wooden and stone weapons, but here and there somebody's got a proper axe or a spear, and just a smattering of them, like 5 or 6, look like Herko, clad in well, weapons and gear of the surrounding countries of the region. Maybe carrying a bone or stone knife, but otherwise dressed like any veteran mercenary would be. I thought I saw a finger up on my door there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about the orcs that are still out there. Do they look threatening? Do they look confused? Are they going to attack, or are they trying to figure out what the heck's going on or what to do next?
Well, most of them have funneled into the fort, along with a lot of orc civilians that have been shepherded over from the western side by the orc scouts hired by Estrella. and they're mostly listening to Herko or Estrella's scout sergeant, taking up positions on the walls or carrying food or, well, raiding. They are raiding the pantry, but it seems like they have actually been ordered to do so. Getting rations delivered out and starting up a stew not too far from the classic mercenary stew you're used to, which involves pretty much anything we can get into this cauldron is going to get yeeted in there, unless it looks like it should be for dessert, in which case we're going to gather it in another cauldron and boil it there.
I'll look over to Estrella. Geez, your little group is growing.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too fast. We will see how it plays out.
We were on our way up to the tower to look to the survivors up there.
I'm gonna head to the ice where Cal disappeared.
That's where I wanted to head to.
Right, we'll do the tower first, and then we'll do the ice. So I believe it was Marisol heading up. Who else?
Estrella.
Marisol and Estrella. Yep. Go for Marisol and Estrella.
So many dead.
Too many, yes. We should gather the bodies all down with the others so they can get it identified and a proper burial.
Absolutely. Let's see who is alive up here. I walk up to the tower and then I knock on the door they have barricaded, I guess.
Yeah, so you knock on it, you hear like, there's nobody here, you can move on.
I know, but I was the one who gave you that bag and we have kinda won the day.
Yeah, there's a hesitant click. You never knew a lock could sound hesitant being unlocked, but turns out that's a thing. Before Ingrid opens the door and like, oh, it is them, and they don't look very undead.
Nope.
Very much alive, thank you.
So I'm skeptical about the one of them. She's too tan, but that's definitely Marisol.
Hi. The undeads have retreated. We've saved the stone in the basement, whatever that is. And yeah, we are gathering all the survivors downstairs. We were guessing you might wanted to come there instead of just sitting up here.
There is food and medicine.
And quite a lot of survivors, actually.
Oh, lovely. Please. It's been horrifying sitting here. We'll be very happy to come and join you.
Did you get some food out of the bag?
Well, we're still pulling it out, but once we started pulling it out for a lot of people, it seems like it locked into one particular dish. We're just getting 2 thick sausages and some pickled cabbage and mashed potatoes with gravy currently.
Well, you should be able to survive on that, but I guess we have stew downstairs.
Oh, fantastic. Please, lead the way. Yeah, you see all of them stopping and for a moment either offering a little prayer or laying down a coin, or in some cases a holy symbol on the spot where Albertine lay.
Rest in peace, my friend. I will walk them down and take back my bag.
Right. Yeah. You get your bag of German delicacies. I mean, your bag of exotic delicacies back from them. Oh. Ingrid looks at the empty spot where Albertine's body was, and well, please tell us when you plan on having the funeral. We would be remiss if we did not honor her after she sacrificed herself to save us.
Of course.
Now, let us go down and join that handsome man in the clay armor. Is he unmarried?
As far as I know.
And she looks at Preacher while walking across the battlements and heading down towards the courtyard.
I will take a moment to myself and walk around the upper levels just to, look at how things are and digest a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not leaving her alone in a castle that was just occupied by undead, but I'm keeping my distance to give her some space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See the two of them walk up there. Roland, the knight looks to Preacher like, it is a good thing that they have found love in each other. Situations like these, as they can be difficult to face alone.
What?
He looks up at Marisol, walking around, looking thoughtful, and Estrella keeping just a couple of feet's distance, enough not to be pushing into her personal space, but close enough to keep her safe. Roland lights a pipe and takes a deep drag. Many find love on the battlefield, but not all are blessed to find it in the same company.
What?
I tell you, my friend Preacher, maybe someday too, the two of us shall find love the way those two have had. I see the way that one of the maids looks at you heading down from the battlements there. He nods up towards Ingrid, who definitely does have sort of a weird look on her face looking at Preacher, and you can see her kind of fiddling with her apron and almost blushing as she's walking down.
Certain things are not possible, but it is nice nonetheless, I suppose. I think.
Yeah. Roland looks at Preacher, or he doesn't look at Preacher, just places a hand on his shoulder, like, well, my friend, love and the mysteries of romance, as they can seem impossible when you are young, but believe me, once you grow older and find the self-confidence to be yourself, even with somebody with maybe a tail or horns, if you like that sort of thing, or green skin, well, love can bloom between most races.
You are aware that I'm a millennia old.
Has a little cough on his pipe, like, well, when you remember the fires of youth, I of course meant to say.
Well, to be fair, it's hard to find somebody that is older than me still alive and breathing. So I guess that would be the ultimate complex, I guess. Pritchard just blusters a little bit and then continues moving stuff.
All right. So Mador and Edamir are heading out towards the hole in the ice. You are noticing that you're getting some privacy where the two of you are heading out, but there's at least 3 mounted knights and what looks like 5 orc scouts with bows. They're far enough away that they can't hear you talk, but close enough that they'll be on it in a moment if you get attacked by anything.
I'm gonna go where she disappeared.
Yeah. So is Edamir in fox form or
Fox
Kitsuna
form.
form? Fox form, yeah. So you and the little fox walk up. The ice here is thick, like 3 feet type thick. It's taken the probably the undead rearguard a while to hack through it with whatever weapons and gear they had available that could survive smacking into ice. You can see a lot of broken swords and shattered axe heads, and just, well, they seem to have been willing to destroy their weapons to get through the ice. Looking down, you can see that there's still movement in the water. It's and you have seen the rather wide and deep river going from this lake down the mountain. So it's the lake's obviously not frozen through, but even with your enhanced vision, you can't see very far into the water. Definitely not deep enough to see the bottom. Although you do see a couple of fish swimming around down there.
120 feet, lightning bolt the water.
Right. Dropping a lightning bolt down, you can see that. Well, it's hard to say where, but towards the end of it, it ricochets off the bottom of the lake. But during the second and a half, maybe, that you have a light down there, you can see that it's been abandoned. There's nobody standing down there waiting for you.
I'm gonna pull out Kel's clan dagger and let it settle down into the water.
Okey-doke. You see it for about 30 feet as it, well, very quickly drops into the depths before disappearing into the dark.
I'm gonna tap a paw into the water and see which way the current's flowing.
The current would be flowing southeasterly, which fits very well with where you know the river is going to be once you start heading back towards Ravensbridge. Exactly where this river ends up, you'd have to either follow it or check a map. But it runs pretty fast and quite deep. Mostly with water from, if you're to hazard a guess, the mountains around the Black Abbey here. There are places where the ice never thaws completely, so it's mostly glacier water, which also makes it very difficult to look through because it's full of particulate.
After I let the dagger go, I'm gonna do a quick about face and head back to the abbey to get Abidene's body and prep her for night's burial.
I'll head back too, but I want to like run across the ice and then just plop down and skid across the ice towards the abbey.
Yep. Typical snow fox enjoying the ice behavior after going like mystical kung fu moves and then lightning bolting the water. It's just kind of what's the word? He's frolicking his way back towards the abbey. What's Eodi doing meanwhile?
So I'm fidgeting about in the courtyard. I'm gonna use detect magic, and I'm gonna see if anything looks out of place, because there's a lot of people here and a lot of things going on. So
All right, yeah, you can see that most of the orcs present have like a lingering trace of some divine magic with aberration properties. All of the knights have magical gear, and quite a fair bit of it too. Some of the footmen, but of course you're a little bunch of adventurous misfits that have been grave robbing for a while now, or the ones decked out in the most impressive magical kit, mostly. Although you do notice that when Roland dies from something and is buried, robbing his barrow is definitely going to be worth it, because that's some high quality armor and weaponry he's walking around with.
alright, so I'm just fidgeting about, just seeing if there's anything lying in wait or hiding or anything like that, and Yoda's just kind of keeping himself busy like that.
Yeah, give us a perception check, good sir. Right. Yeah, you can see sitting up on in the shadows cast by one of the towers, pretty much invisible to anybody not doing exactly what you're doing. There's sort of a roiling cloud-like human or humanoid shaped being that is currently pulling a bowstring and aiming an arrow at Marizal. We're starting to aim an arrow at Marizal.
Okay, I would like to place myself between Marisol and this figure. And I'd like to make it very apparent that I'm walking towards this figure.
All right. The figure seems to hesitate and then turns its head. You see another bear-like, sort of like a cloud of cinders. The almost like the type that you summon yourself. Jump up and kind of flow over the wall in a very unnatural motion, and the figure with the bow follows soon after.
Interesting. Then I will shuffle my way to the other side of the wall and see if I can get any trace of what this is or what's going on.
Are you planning on just using the Tet magic for that, or are you going to be adding any more spells to try and find that out?
I don't really have anything that could help me with that. So it would just have to be Arcana and Detect Magic.
Give us an Arcana, good sir. Ooh, okay. Well, there's a very faint residue, like on the wall, like when you overchar some meat and put it somewhere to cool off and pick it up. It's like the residue from that. You're pretty certain it's going to make a great hot sauce.
Yeah, fire I'm very familiar with, I imagine.
Yeah. So, yeah. You're fairly certain that using the residue from the undead creature, there's no way that could go wrong using it in cooking.
Certainly, certainly.
But you do find the residue. It would be very, very difficult, almost impossible, without magical aid. But it can be tracked.
Well, we give it the old college try then. I'm not doing much else, so Iodi's going to see if he can follow this trail. What kind of roll you want for that?
That'd be a survival. Tracking. Give us an Arcana. Good set. An Arcana sounds good. Well, you can follow it off the wall, basically, but the moment it gets out into like more bad or the snow badland type area of around the Black Abbey, it's almost impossible to follow. You'd need Leo or somebody else who is a dedicated tracker and has dedicated tracking things, magic items, to be able to follow this cloud of cinders as it seems to almost be bounding off from the two tracks you can see before they disappear.
Imagine getting Leo to track Ghost Leo. Well, I will get kerfuffled and I will head my way towards Marisol because I would like to warn her that there is something watching her.
Yeah. She's sitting at a table with a pot of stew she seems to have forgotten about and looking at guns.
Oh yeah.
In classic, polite Iodi fashion, I'm just going to walk up and start tugging on her sleeve.
Oh yeah. What can I do for you?
There is something that Iodi has seen, Marisol.
Oh?
It is like fire and darkness, and it is watching you, Marisol.
That sounds ominous.
It is very ominous, is it not?
Yeah, where? What? How?
I could not follow it, but I dissuaded it from taking a shot at you.
Well then. Did you see where it went? Did it leave any tracks?
Tracks is a very interesting way of putting it. Iodi can show you, but I do not know.
Well, show me.
I will do that.
Estrella leaves her place by the wall. I didn't see anything. Are you sure?
Are you
I can
implying
Iodi.
that Iodi did not see anything?
Well, I'm sure you saw something.
Is Estrella comfortable with magic in nature?
Well, can't say that I have a lot of good experience with magic.
Then maybe we all look together and perhaps we find this shadow that is following our fearless leader.
Well then. Lead on.
Is Preacher noticing this conversation? Because I am in the courtyard.
Preacher's, of course, noticing, unless they're trying to whisper and keep him from noticing.
Quite the opposite.
Then I'll tag along without comment.
Right. Yeah. Well, Preacher can see what Iodi's talking about, but without any way of detecting magic, the other two can't even see the tracks.
Well, let me try with an arcane eye.
Well, hard to track something you can't see.
Iodi
Yeah.
found it difficult to track it even though he could see it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to track as is, and with you and you need magic sight to even be able to try.
Well, keep your eye open, Master Yodi, and let's see if we can find out what this is for your hoard. And I give him a gold coin. Look around once again, see absolutely nothing, and go back to Beaton to eat my now cold stew.
Yeah, and the stew, as you pick it up, is surprisingly warm. Seems somebody's exchanged your cold stew for warm while you were not following. Yeah.
Ah, perfect. Thank you, whoever did this. And I eat it down because I'm remembering how hungry I actually am.
Right, Mador and Edamir return. Now, finally, Temult and Magnus are done treating any wounded and have 5 minutes to sit down and have a break before something else catches fire.
Is there a chapel or temple or altar within the facility, or is it just all abbey?
There is a small chapel dedicated to Creus. What can't really be called a chapel, more like a small shrine.
I will make sure that nothing has been done to desecrate it or anything like that. May not be my religion, but keep the place handy considering all the undead.
Okay.
I curl up by a fire and take a little nap.
It has been quite a long day.
I'm heading up to the tower where Aberdeen's body is.
Yeah. Give us a religion check, Temult. Knowledge religion. Or lore religion, or whatever it is in this edition. I get edition, it's just religion now, actually. I get edition fatigue sometimes. No, to your trained eyes, doesn't look like somebody's, like anybody's actually had the time to desecrate it. There's been a heck of a fight here. You can see that whoever took care of this chapel destroyed a fair amount of undead attackers before falling to them with some sort of flaming greatsword, if you're to hazard a guess. The chapel itself needs a bit of tidying up, but it's not desecrated.
I will tidy up then.
And I will join him.
Yeah. One of the orcs, a young male, dressed in a chain shirt with some obvious mercenary gear and a two-handed sword on his back, is also tidying up, muttering prayers in his own language.
I will smile and offer him a pie.
He smiles and gratefully accepts the pie. Looks around and like, must clean temple to Thor. It's our forefather.
Very much so.
He guzzles that pie down in one gigantic bite and continues putting things back in their places.
I'll be
I think
joining
he
them
enjoy-
once I've eaten.
I think he enjoys your pie, Temult.
They're just amazing.
Right. This
Need to take time to
Mador.
make more. Sorry.
Sorry, my bad. Finish your scene if you wish to.
Oh, that was it. That was it.
Yep.
Go for
Right.
it.
I also wanted to, while I'm taking a nap, send Roran out to try to find the other dog druid.
Okay, we will get to that. But first, however, Modor comes up onto the wall and finds the place where Albertine was laying. There's now a couple of candles lit there, some flowers, holy symbols, coins, at least one cup of wine set out. No Albertine, though.
I'm gonna ask Marisol where she put her so we can give her proper burial.
Walking down, you find Marisol having eaten her stew, half dozing in front of the fire. Seems like she's got a list up and she's trying to work, but exhaustion's starting to catch up to her.
Marisol, a minute before you doze off.
What? Yeah, sure. What's going on?
Where have you put Aberdine's body so I can give it its proper night burial?
I haven't taken her. I thought you guys did when I was up in the tower because she wasn't there when I got back down.
And she isn't there now.
And you didn't take her?
And you didn't take her.
No.
Who was that lady you were talking to? Ingrid?
She was in the tower the whole time, and she can't have taken her.
Well, I'll go ask her.
Go ask the knights. What if they have moved her?
Yeah, I'll hit Ingrid, then I'll hit the knights, and once you get some sleep there.
Okay, thank you. I'll give up and just roll out my bedroll and doze in front of the fire.
Try and find Ingrid.
Yeah, Ingrid's currently laying out or getting improvised cots set up. There was a garrison here, but pretty much everything in that room is smashed and filled with, things that should ideally be inside of bodies. So cots are being set up around the great fire in the courtyard instead.
Ingrid?
Jean looks over and curtsies. Sir Mado, what can I do for you?
Did you remove Aberdine's body?
No, I did not. I thought that was something that Sir Magnus did. Or maybe Marisol.
Well, Marisol didn't. I haven't talked to Magnus yet. I'm going to talk to the other knights and see if they did. I mean, I should give her a proper night burial.
Well, I don't think so. So Roland asked me to tell them when you were planning on doing the burial.
I will definitely make sure. To the knights.
And the Knights of Valon currently they are mostly well. She looks around and you can see the Knights of they're either taking care of their gear or eating haven't taken care of their gear, or sleeping haven't taken care of their gear and eaten.
Is Roland around?
Roland's sitting over by he's sitting over by a fire, almost entirely like a mirror image of Marisol, but on the opposite side of the courtyard. And you can see that he's got a notepad up and a piece of chalk in a finger, and his eyes are very much fighting to stay open. So standing in the middle of the courtyard, looking at him and Marisol, they could be twins currently.
Sir Roland?
Oh yes, you can see.
Did any
He-
knights remove the knights from the tower for burial?
He looks down at the blackboard, the little blackboard he's got in his hand, and kind of scrunches his eyebrows as he sees just one long line going out of it on the bottom. I'm like, I can't see that I've noted. Anybody reported that to me.
Okay, Rowan, why don't you get some sleep too?
I did not give that order. At least we thought that your cleric, the one you call preacher, had taken care of it.
I will. I'm checking with everybody as I'm going through this. No one has seen her body, and it's not where it's supposed to be.
Well, Salvador, please tell me if there's any aid you need from me. If I am to be combat effective tomorrow, I will have to get at least an hour or two. He looks at the full moon that's already moved well into the sky after the battle was done.
Go to rest. I don't need much sleep since I've been gone a week. Never mind. And I'll head and find preacher.
Right. What is preacher doing?
I've been clearing up all debris, monsters, all the fallen stuff. Basically, the detritus of the battle. So I'm somewhere around the courtyard, stacking up things or moving bodies respectfully.
Oh, do I see him?
Yep, you see him moving things to boot.
Preacher,
Mador?
did you take Abigail's body down from the tower? Aberdeen.
Abigail?
Body. Aberdeen.
Okay. No. Last I saw was the others paying their respects, and her body was more or less frozen in the sitting position. I tried to laying her out, and that was about all they did at the time.
Oh.
But that was when we entered. It wasn't. We haven't seen it since, I think.
Oh, her body's not there.
Well, they confirmed a state of death, but then again, that green stone thing did a lot of weird stuff. So
yeah. Right, I'll check with Magnus. Otherwise, I think I've checked with everybody that I can think of checking with.
all right.
How are you feeling, by the way? You look a little different than what I saw you
Yes.
half hour ago, I guess.
There's a lot of things that happen down there in the cellar, and I'm still trying to sort it out. I suddenly have memories of my early childhood.
I'll have to sit down with you, and you can explain that to me, since I don't know what happened down there since I wasn't around.
There is a very big stone down there, and I think that pie-eating fellow talked about it a little bit. It's called a planar anchor or something, basically a life force thing. So if I was going to look for Albertine in some kind of mystic state, I would look down there.
Thank you for letting me know. I will definitely will be probably my last stop on this before I take on watch. Since
I'll come with you because the state of our fallen champion is important.
Okay. Let's find Magnus, and then we'll head down there.
Right. Heading down. I assume Magnus will be joining the two of you.
He will.
That's a pretty good place to take a 10-minute break. So coffee, bio, cigarettes, that sort of thing for everybody. We will be back at a couple of minutes past 7 p.m. European time. So we'll be back very shortly.
Okay.
They don't taste like it, though. They are amazingly good.
Mm-hmm.
And there we are. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. So, as the three of you are headed towards the cathedral, Magnus, Amador, and Preacher, one of the smaller girls, not old enough to have a job yet, but I believe you've seen her, the daughter of one of the maids. So looks up at Preacher as the three are all walking past and like, "Is you looking for the brave lady?"
Yes, towering over the person in question.
She went to the sky like warm butterflies.
I look to the
Well-
others. Magnus,
No, no, anything to do with me. This doesn't sound good.
what did you see, little one?
Oh, she was there resting, like my mommy said, and then she turned into butterflies. Like, and then she points at one of the motes of light coming from the bonfire. And then she went to the heavens.
She just disappeared into air. My wee bonny girl.
You
So
talk funny.
So
I do.
she ascended to the sky or to the heavens, as you said.
I don't know that word, but she turned into little butterflies, and then she went up. What is ascended?
It means to turn into a good spirit that's gone up to be with the gods, my wee girl.
Um, the question, Shogi, the religion that Albertine belonged to, what do I know about this particular feature that saints can turn into motes of light? Has that ever been storied or told about?
I mean, you've heard about it, but it's not a very common thing. Especially from your understanding in this day and age where the gods are sort of under orders from the leaders of their respective trees of the pantheon to not go interfering too much, because two cataclysms obviously turned out fine, but nobody's certain that the planet can do a third one.
Well, thank you, young one. That answers a few of our questions, but raises more.
Magnus pats about and himself to see if he can find some candy for the little one.
I turn to Mador, nodding a few steps away from the small one. I have no way of knowing if this is what happened. She believes it. She may have seen something. It's not impossible, I guess, for a champion to ascend, vanish, turn into some kind of energy. I don't know.
I'm gonna try and look through my knowledge, try some of the training and the training I had from my tutors from my childhood and things like this.
Give us just a flat wisdom roll. Oh no, occultism will do just fine for you there.
Is that occult?
Yes, sir. I mean, you've heard about it, but pretty much every single situation where that happened, there weren't any traces left, and people were all sorts of confused about why and where they'd gone until usually sometime later in whatever story about it, they either show up themselves and say it, or there's some sort of fairy or god or other powerful being that's been doing shenanigans.
There is one thing that speaks for this eventuality. One of the things that the person that appeared when you disappeared said was, and I do believe him, is that the walls, basically those stone thing, anchors the plane of some kind, and he said that the walls, when things happen with these, grow thinner. So I guess energy or divine intervention is more likely when such things are about to happen.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna head down and look at the sword or the stone here then, since I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'll walk with you, but I don't think I'm gonna walk too close to it.
Yeah. As you head into the secret tunnel behind the fireplace, you can't get more than a few steps before you can feel the positive energy. No longer the waves of it that you felt, but more like walking into a strong waterfall. And after just 5 or 6 steps into the tunnel, you can see, like, on your hands, motes of light are starting to lift up into the air and disappear, and they are taking the outer pieces of epidermis or skin with them.
So,
Five
kind
or
of,
6 more steps, and you'd probably be nothing but positive energy.
Okay, so I'm getting kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It would be lethal to walk any further. You can feel it, like as with everything else. Too much of a good thing could be bad, and too much positive energy, you're basically gonna end up as light and warmth. Not much else.
Okay, I don't think I'll go any further then. I'm not a warm guy.
You seem fine to me. I didn't think we should get any closer, though.
No.
Well, it's
I'll
possible that the stone affected Albertine. Or maybe Geb intervened.
So, who is this new person? The one, is that the one that's a raccoon?
Yeah. That's the one.
Termelt.
What's his name?
Termelt.
It's
He's the
Preacher?
champion.
cleric.
Can't understand what he's saying.
I believe he said the Temelt is a champion or a cleric of some sort. He's definitely a scholar.
Okay,
Aye.
let me talk to this gentleman.
Feel free, he was in the chapel where I was. But yes, he's a champion of Apollo, I believe.
Okay, I'll go try and find this raccoon guy.
Hanging along.
If he offers you a pie, do take it. They're very good.
Right. As you head into the chapel, you see a lot of kids kind of spread out in various stages of food comas in almost like concentric circles working their way inwards to the Tanuki Tumult, who is sitting on a prayer mat in the middle. He looks like he might be in some sort of meditative position, but the slight snoring from him said that giveaway that he is having himself a bit of a rest.
I guess my questions can wait till morning. Why don't you all get some rest? Seems like you had a long day here. I'll go up on watch for a little while. Then I'll try and catch a few hours myself.
Aye, that sounds good. I want to take a look around first. I won't be long. Paracha, would you like to join me to talk about what you've discovered about yourself?
Yeah, we can talk a bit, but to be honest, it's still a bit of a jumble. But we can walk and talk a bit.
If it helps you sort it out, or we can just look around. I don't want to push.
Yeah. Troy, me and Magnus are going for a slight walk, but you have to calculate the others time-wise.
We can stop patrolling the walls up on top.
Yeah, you and Magnus just do whatever scene you're planning on doing, and I'll give you a slight hint when it's time to finishing it off.
Right. Well, as we walk along, Preacher still has that green aura glow going a little bit, but slightly less, especially after being down there in the cellar. It's more than just the memories. It being automaton, we don't remember much about the life before because it was so short in respect to what we are now. Relevant time you've lived. And those days were buried long gone. It shook me. It definitely shook me, but it also grounded some other pieces in me. So I definitely feel stronger for it. But the feeling that was mostly awakened was fear and quite a bit of hate for the gnomes. They stole me away from my family, and that is something I obviously still felt strongly about. I don't know what kind of limits they put on us. Those have worn away, I think.
It's very interesting, my friend. That kind of thing, well, if they took you from a mortal body and put your spirit where it is now, it's the kind of thing they wouldn't want you to remember. Could drive you mad.
I don't recall the moment of transference. I do feel more pieces missing. I only have the youngest of days, pieces of time between somebody are like 5 and 8, 10 years old maybe. They do make a practice. Did make a practice. I'm losing a little bit of Tempest perspective. They really wanted young ones that hadn't formed properly, so they could reform their opinions and desires and mold them into what they wanted, and then transfer them to the new bodies. I don't know exactly which age I was when I went into this, and I beat myself on the chest a little bit with a slight gong.
Aye. I've seen fragments, no more than that, but yeah, it's horrific. I can only offer my sympathies and help if I can.
Well,
hopefully, some more of your past will return to you in time.
I am facing a bit of a struggle now because when I awoke, there was nothing. I had peace because there was nothing else. I could build upon something solid, and that's rumbled away now, crumbled. I need to find new stepping stones. I need to reassert my newfound calm. There will be more meditation for me in the coming days, and I will probably need a little bit more resting time.
Aye. Well, while we're here, the chapel might be a good place for you to find some calm.
Most likely, but there's one favor I actually have. I don't know
Ask
what kind
away.
of I don't know what kind of control measures that were implemented on the automatons of old, but that if any of that awakens again, it's
Aye.
it's a nightmare.
Aye. The fragments I've seen. Aye. That possibility, it definitely scares me, preacher. I'll do what I can to help you stop that.
Part of it is that we never knew what kind of trigger points we had and what kept us in check. I don't know what kind of loyalties they bound us with.
There was mention of. Sorry,
Yep.
go ahead.
No, you.
There was a mention of one of your kind in Cracked the Chevalier. Do you think he might have more information that would help?
He might. I was planning to talk to him, but we moved out too soon and he wasn't around. It's going to be quite an interesting discussion, and I have many questions.
I'm sure you do.
I remember so many fragments of my life when I was a soldier, a watch postman, things I did in this body. 1,000 years, and this small fraction of my youth suddenly appears. It just cracks it all.
Aye, I imagine it's very disturbing information to come up on. Well, we'll have to deal with it, won't we?
Somehow. I'm gonna go find some rest, and you will have to manage watch without me tonight, I think. I will wake when I wake.
Aye. I'll finish looking around what's left of the Abbey and let Mado know that I'm headed for my bed myself. Go get some rest, preacher, yeah? And if there's anything I can do, an ear to listen, some help with research, feel free to call on me.
We will see. Preacher walks off into the chapel and basically stands next to one of the statues in there, becoming a statue, resting.
Very nice. All right.
Magnus goes off to find Mador and let him know to skip Preacher on the watch, and then heads down.
All right. Well, as dawn breaks, most of you have gotten some rest, either sitting in a chair or sleeping a boot somewhere. And one of the cleaning ladies comes up to Iodi, who's awake and stirring his cauldron. Master Wizard, Master Dragon Wizard, Dragon Master Wizard, Mr. Iodi.
What do you need?
A letter has arrived by Raven for, well, I don't know. I can't read, but I'm pretty certain it's for one of you important people.
I will take this letter. Thank you very much. Is there like a name on the envelope or anything of that nature?
No, but you can see the wax seal is with the the Black Raven over the barred gates of Ravensbridge.
Yes. Then I will slide my way over towards Marisol and see if she's awake.
Well, she's got one eye open, and there is a cup of black bean brew in her hand that you can see steam come out of. But whether or not she's technically awake, the philosophers would probably disagree on.
I will lean in very close so that my nose is basically touching hers. And I'll say, Marisol!
Ah! What? Yeah. Hi.
It's like the staring down a long dog snout, except there's Eode there instead of a golden retriever.
Are you not awake at this time?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. What's going on?
Does Marisol know how to read?
Yeah, I do.
Excellent. Here. Letter for you, fearless leader.
Thank you for your hoard, then. And I hand you another gold coin.
He kind of bites it a little bit and then puts it in his pocket. All in a day's work for Iodi.
Indeed. I opened the letter.
Right. I'm going to need a second and a half to write that message, so I'm going to kick it over to Preacher Magnus and Temmelt, who are making breakfast together and can RP for a bit while I write the letter.
Morning. Well, I
Yeah, good
add
morning, Temmelt.
from a small jar that looks very red into the stew / gravy mix that's currently in the pot.
Magnus is making a kind of loaf of bread.
Biscuits. That'll work.
Aye, it's more flat bread, but it'll do. It'll be tasty enough.
I will gladly assist with anything that needs carrying or stirring, but taste buds and me doesn't go well together. So unless you want something to taste very bland, probably not the right cook. But yes, I'll gladly help.
I enlist Preacher to hand me things and stuff while I am making something to pour over the flatbread of Magnus.
Could just add a little butter if you've got it.
Rummaging through my sleeves. That'll work. Here you go.
Aye, that's grand. Thank you, Temmelt. He
Impressive.
flips the baked bread and starts putting butter on it.
I'll look around for any kind of goat, cow, or anything that may have survived. Probably not finding anything, but yay, well, undead kills everything.
Long evening. Long evening. Did I miss anything?
Well, apparently Albertine has disappeared. We wanted to have a discussion with you about that. There was a young one that spoke of her body turning into butterflies of light. And
Aye.
it's not entirely uncommon in folklore that something like that happens, but that's more myth than religion.
Yeah, that's interesting.
She did go on to say that it was more like embers, or something like that. I don't know that much about Ascension.
Well, Marisol comes running over.
Quickly, where's the Knight Commander?
Over there.
Is that all?
Yeah, meet over there as soon as possible. Get the others. And I run over.
Yeah, you see him standing there. Him and Mudor are going through polearm exercises on the ground, while some of the knights are working, doing either with each other or with the more experienced men at arms. You can keep up with them.
Sir Knight?
Captain Marisol. Good morning to you.
Good morning. You need to see this. And I hand them the letter.
Please, my hands. I am moist from working with your Knight Modor here. Would you mind reading?
To the commander of the forces of the Black Abbey, you are hereby asked to take whatever forces can be spared to Fort Valais. They are there to greet and serve the most righteous Marquis Florentin Cavalier, who is in relieving of Raven's Bridge, who is expecting to come under siege by a substantial army hailing from the crater of Jagged Teeth. It arrived this morning.
Oh, well. He doesn't stop sparring with Modor, but that sounds, that sounds bad in several ways. Mostly it sounds bad because it seems whoever is writing this letter does not know what's happened to the Black Abbey.
No. Apparently they don't. Which makes me think that that same thing might be on the verge of happening in Ravensbridge.
Well, nothing has taken Raven's Bridge in well over a century. See.
How long has it since anyone took the Black Abbey?
Well, not quite as long, but still, it is unexpected, to say the least. Raven's Bridge, the gases in the swamps around it, and the knights, the Raven Guard, they are. They've kept Raven's Bridge safe for a long, long time. If it was from the crater, they would need to have some sort of trickery up their sleeve. The orcs, they've attacked in hordes Raven's Bridge before, and usually they end up trying to flank and choke and die in the swamps.
Well, here's to hoping. But we need to make sure we can answer this as soon as possible.
While this is true, leaving the Black Abbey herself undefended is. While it is an alternative, it is not one that I would choose given any sort of opportunity to do it differently. You and your band, you have seen much of the world. You have 2 nights and several experienced, men, women, foxes, and statues.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, any wise counsel you may give, I would happily take.
Well, I'm thinking that perhaps my group should be leaving as soon as possible, while you figure out how many needs to be staying here, and then send whatever can be spared after us. We can probably move faster as our small group anyway.
This makes sense to me. Also, you can move fast, and you need to tell the Marquis that the Black Abbey has fallen. It and has been reclaimed. He needs to be aware if he is, as you know, while the knights of our realm are well equipped and well trained. And he looks at the other 7 knights there. There aren't too many of us. If the Marquis is to be able to do a good disposition of his available forces, well, he needs to have the full picture.
I agree.
In the entire march, with all of the knights, well, there's barely 400 of us. And that is scattered through every castle, every town, every martial order. We must. I trust you will be able to make it down with good speed.
We can travel quickly.
In that case, the best of luck to you. I saw the weapons you were trying to figure out yesterday. I'm glad I can stick to the lance and the mace. And he grins. And I would hate for my weapon to be some sort of puzzle I must solve before I can use it.
I'm sure I'll figure it out. In the meantime, I have other weapons I definitely know how to handle.
Well, well. I shall see you hopefully at Fort Falai, and if not, relieving Ravensbridge herself.
Do you have anything you need to say to the Marquis? We will be leaving within 2 hours. I think that's as soon as we can march. So just leave it with me.
You may say that I am planning on initially bringing myself and the 7 knights. I will leave the infantry and the engineers here together with our new friends. And be certain you use that word. The orcs from the valley. Let's say to defend the fortress or the abbey and start rebuilding. If the weather is anything to go by, we should have no more snow and be able to plant very soon.
So you and your 7 knights will be coming, and the abbey will be protected. Got it.
That is my plan, madame. Infantry can man the walls of an abbey just as well as a knight, but when it comes to riding down an enemy mangonel or siege team, well, you want the heavy cavalry for that.
Absolutely. Thank you, my good sir.
Also, I shall write you a letter before you leave. There are some names in it. Other mercenaries in the area that I would recommend that the Marquis take contact.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Rius and Gartel be with you.
And with you.
Right, I'm gonna write down the 2 names of the mercenary captains in the chat while you just RP.
I guess it means training's over for me.
Now, well, didn't see the place at its best, and whatever training they wanted me to take, it's no longer possible.
For now.
I may be. By the time it's possible to resume it, I might need it no longer.
I only caught about half of that. We have to leave.
Yes.
Aye.
We're leaving for the Black Abbey to help them.
My door's
No, we're leaving from the Black Abbey to Ravensbridge, sorry. I have not finished my coffee yet.
Here,
Well,
have another cup.
Thank
Back to
you.
Ravensbridge again?
apparently.
I thought your
Uh,
group started in Ravensbridge. Why wouldn't you go back?
Well, I didn't start there, and I do have plans to go somewhere, but guess that can wait a little bit, I hope.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll take off the gauntlet and start winding it.
I hand Estrella a cup of black bean brew and a thick sausage gravy streaked with red poured over some flatbread.
Ah, thanks.
And continue to do the same for everybody else.
Thank you.
Do you have any tea by chance?
Aye, over here. There you go.
Handing the coffee to the black bean brew to Marisol and warily taking the cup of tea. Thanks.
I finished
welcome.
my cup of black bean brew and then continue nursing Estrella's.
Right. So once you start traveling, give us the order of march you're planning on using.
I'm thinking me up front together with, say, Magnus or something.
I'm up front since I'm using Show the Way.
Yeah, you can ride with me.
I'll ride in the wagon.
Well, I'm tiny, so
Yeah,
I'll
there's
actually
room
take
for
up.
you.
As Estrella is somewhere in the middle as usual.
And I guess I'll take rear guard.
I'll be in the middle.
I will ride in the wagon because there's nothing for me to ride.
Oh, we have extra horses if you need one.
The wagon
Very
will.
well. Any important scenes you want to play out before leaving?
Where's Yoda gonna be?
In the wagon.
Master Yoda, a question.
Yes, preacher?
There were some clothing that I would like you to ponder at your leisure when you have time. As well as a couple of weapons. I hand him the wraps and the robes of the very, very, very evil converted monk. Are these safe to use, do you think? The Ebon wraps?
That's a hell of a question. What kind of roll you want there, Shaggy?
That'd be identify magical items, good sir.
So, Arcana?
Yep. They seem safe, although you're probably gonna want another day or two to see if they bleed any sort of, bad evilness or evil badness, which actually are two different things in Arcana.
Yes, perhaps Iodi will take a day or two to study these a little further.
No worries.
It will give me something to do on the trip, I think.
Thank you. That's it.
Right. Well, you've just gotten down from the mountain. I believe Yodi has an updated map if you want to show where Fort Felice is. It's not super important, but it's south of where y'all were. However, you are heading up towards the river when Marisol gets a weird feeling, and Edamir smells something strange on the wind. Heading up towards the river, you see 4 huge, hulking, Neanderthal-looking giants rising up, and a lady, very young and beautiful, who rises on the other side of the bridge and like, "Oh, you thought you could kill my kin and get away with it? I shall have all your skulls as drinking bowls and your femurs to line my bed."
Your kin? You mean
Who's your kin?
the hair of the lady I took?
I will use your fox fur when I have my time of the month to soak up the blood.
I'll have your head of hair too.
How far away is she? Because I would like to do something while she's monologuing.
Oh, you don't get to break up my monologuing with actions.
Damn it.
They have plot armor.
Boo the plot armor.
But you can hold both the mouse buttons and drag to get the how long you fire up. The measure distanceinator, and then just to click both of them again to take it away.
Not quite enough.
She points at y'all, and the 4 giants look at you as she goes, "A la cuisine!" And it is Edamir's turn.
Interesting. I'll just move there and hold. Well, end.
Very well. That takes care of the Edamir. Then it is the Tumult.
How do I get rid of that? There.
Just like that. The move.
And how close? Still too far. And I will cast. No, I will hold. I'm good.
Very well. As that was Temult. Then it is One Hill Giant. Boom, 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 boom. MDMA. Can't sing that. It's a Barbie Girl reference, but I think I'll actually get kicked off of Twitch for it. This hill giant is going to yeet a big old rock at. He's smart enough to realize that he doesn't have line of sight at either, so he's going to yeet it at Temult. That hits. Smacks Temult for 22 bludgeoning damage. And he's gonna pick up another rock and make it ready to throw. This bro actually kind of did himself a little boo-boo here. He's gonna walk up there. Gonna yeet this thing at Marisol. Another rock. Ranges it. Actually, I'll take a minus on that. Oh, goes straight into the water. Completely missing. And he loses his next action getting out of the water. This bro, he sees there is a big old tree in the way, so he's gonna throw a rock at Estrella.
I don't like being thrown at, so nimble dodge.
Yeah, he misses, and he's gonna pick up another rock and yeet that. Misses with both rocks as Estrella kind of nimbly dodges away, does a split, and then an acrobatic somersault over the second rock. This bro here, he can see Mudor. He's gonna try to throw a rock at the knight, but he is gonna get a penalty because Mudor is partially concealed. And he's gonna try again. Both are misses. Wow. That is an impressive start for these hill giants. I will say it's not Manchester City quality over their plays so far. It is Iodi's turn.
Yes. I am going to climb out of the wagon and slide up next to Preacher. And I will pat him on the back and I will cast haste upon him. Go get them, my friend. And that will be my turn.
Haste the killing machine. Very well. So that takes us to Herko, who just moves up next to Iodi, and he's looking to the sides and the rear in case something tries to pop out and assassinate him. Mudor.
Gonna summon the crossbow and take a shot at the hill giant right here.
Yeah. 135. I believe you'll be within the second range increment. So it'll be with a -2 due to range. That's a hit, though. For sure. Yep, that's a good hit. He takes that crossbow bolt. He's a big boy. It's gonna take more than one crossbow bolt to drop him, but definitely injures him.
And how long does it take to reload this crossbow?
Takes one action.
One action, okay. I'm gonna reload it, and my front action, I'm gonna move behind the tree. Here.
Let me actually double check that. I'm pretty certain I set to reload the one on that thing. It just says reload. What did I set it to? Well, I have forgotten to set it to anything, so it'll be one action until I go in and look at it. I'm pretty certain it should be two, but I said one, so there we are. It's reloaded, and Mudor can cover.
Shago, I think you actually had me 2 turns last time I used it.
Yeah, it is reload too. That's right. Yeah, it's a big old crossbow, very powerful.
I'm gonna move and set with the glade. Glade.
Yeah. Set to receive.
Just in case anything decided to come out of the water like last time we were at this river, I believe.
Very well. That takes us to Parija.
I turn towards. Basically, I toss my head to first Marisol, then Magnus, charge or hold, and I move up here, and then I hold action to see if there's any kind of response from them. And if there's a response, I'll take action based on what that is. Basically, charge forwards or stay put.
Very well. Very well. That takes us to Magnus.
Wasn't Magnus riding up front with Marisol?
Nope, Magnus was riding in the barrier with Mador.
Fair enough. Magnus is going to move up next to Marisol and then out onto the bridge. About there, then raise shield. And that is my turn.
Very well. That takes us to Marisol.
Well, that depends on how many boulders they have. And I'm going to shoot at the closest giant.
Yeah, looking at it, they seem to have a little pyramid of boulders each, so they can throw shit at you for quite a long while.
We should probably charge them. And then I shoot, and then I aim and shoot.
Okay, at who? At whom? Sorry.
Let's see. That one.
Gotcha. That'd be number 3.
Yeah, I can't see any numbers.
No, because they're not numbered. I know the numbers, they're inside my brain. Aim and shoot. Go for it. Oh, so close to being a 1. That's a critical, though. Yeah, he knows he's been shot.
And I reload.
For sure. Marisol takes his right ear off with that shot. That takes us to actually Preacher, who was told to charge.
Okay. In that case, I go into my Flamestoke stance and move forwards. I only have the one action left, though, so it's going to be a 40 move up here. Sorry, that's not. This is more crit. There we go.
There we are. Excellent. Estrella.
Yes, since they said to charge, Estrella is using 2 actions to move behind this bush here. And from there, she first wants to, well, go stealthy.
Mm-hmm. Give us a stealth roll. Ooh.
Pretty soon I'm hidden.
The stealthiest.
Estrella gets down behind the bush, leans on it ever so slightly, and pushes the entire bush into the river, sitting on top of a rock with absolutely no cover whatsoever.
Who could knew that this was so loose? Huh?
Even she doesn't believe she's in stealth right now. Which is interesting, because these 2 harpies have also noticed that she's there. Älskar mig nu. Try to not get the MCA'd. Oh, that is quite the aura, isn't it? Because it turns out there is a harpy here. And it is going to fly up here and start singing, meaning I need a DC 21 will save from everybody.
Oh, nope, nope.
No problem.
Close.
Ow.
Right, so Marisol. This is a magical effect, by the way, so it won't affect Preacher on that roll. But Marisol, Estrella, and Magnus are
No,
fascinated.
I made my save.
It looks like an 18. No, that was the stealth. All right. So Marisol and Magnus are fascinated and must use their turn to move towards the harpy as expediently as possible while avoiding any obvious dangers. They are quite simply captivated by the melody. And guess what? Another one flies up and does the same. But you've all saved, so you either failed or were successful. That takes us all the way around to this lady. What's the range on that? Ooh. She is simply going to move up into the brush here. That takes us over to the Edemir.
Okay. I'm going to reach, spell, sudden bolt the witch lady. So reflexive, and it's a 25.
25 reflex. Well, that hits. That obviously hurts. Is this Timol's turn? Just give me a moment. I gotta get myself a cough drop.
No problem.
Question for the Tulmar. The haste extra action, at which level is that if you count as a strike, for example?
What do you mean?
Since it's an extra action, extra strike or stride, is it a extra on the highest level or is it on the...
That depends on when you use it.
Okay.
So if you do 3 attacks and then use your extra attack, it'll be the lowest level.
All right.
But you can do all your moves and then take an attack, and it would be at the highest level. So it's
Sweet.
Right, it is Timol's turn still.
Ow. And I'm going to cast Searing Light on the nasty lady that's been monologuing.
I'm gonna give you a -2 to hit because she does have some concealment behind those plants.
Gotcha.
First, though, I need to see if Searing Light even has range right now.
It's 120, so
120,
yes.
yep.
Oh, yeah. Then it does. Easy.
Pardon me while I figure out which thing to click.
Timol just goes Kobe and... However, she is going to dodge that. I believe, though, that you have more than one Searing Light beam going out, so you have at least 1 or 2 more, if I'm not wrong.
I
You can
believe
place
Searing
out.
Light's only one.
Yeah, it's only one.
Really?
Yeah, it's like my Moonlight Ray, but fire instead of cold.
Yeah, it's one creature, not 2.
They changed up my spell. They took the gerbs. Okay, well, that is going to be a 2 action, so you still have 1 action left.
Should still do half damage on it, right?
No, not when I say you touch. You need to hit with it first. But there's generally no save against touch spells. You just, reach out and touch someone.
Yeah, pretty much as long as I hit it, does things. But at the moment, Yes. I'm going to seek shelter behind Preacher then. Or is that post next to Preacher? Or Magnus, I should say, on the bridge? Would that be cover, or is that just not there?
The post?
Yeah.
It's there. It might give you some semblance of cover at the very least, but they are hurling boulders at you.
Hmm.
And
In
say
that case,
if they were plinking at you with a 22, that'd be one thing, but
it's going to get up behind Preacher then.
gotcha.
And I'm done.
Okay. As the giants, Well, one of them is going to throw a rock at Estrella because she is the closest target. Ooh.
Well, nimble dodging.
Yep, that one smacks her straight in the side of the head for 43 damage.
Even with a nimble, ouch.
It's 1 AC. It's not a miracle spell. Picks up another rock and tries to throw that at Estrella as well. And stumbles out into the water.
43 you said was the first hit, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Ouch.
The other one here?
Yeah, nimble dodge is 2, not 1, by the way.
Ah, well, 2 at level 7 is it's nice, but it's not a miracle spell. It's going to number 2 is he's gotten out of water, is picking up a rock, and he's going to hurl it at Preacher. And I believe that is a hit. It is. Smacks Preacher for 16.
16.
Number 3. Gonna take a couple of steps forward, pick up a rock, and throw it at Marisol. Doesn't really like what he's seeing from her, and actually misses her. But he is also pointing to number 4 and like saying something in Jotun. And the other one's gonna number 4 is gonna move up and throw another rock at Marisol.
What did
Long
he say?
bombs it. Give me a moment. He said something like, "Kill that one. She's got a really good gun."
Okay.
Freely translated. And that one smacks Marisol for he long bombs it, actually hitting her from above, and smacks her for 34. Speaking of smacking things, it is Iodi.
Oh boy. I will slide up to there behind that bush.
Yep.
And I will clap my hands together and I will throw a fireball on top of the hag, hitting the harpy and the giant next to her.
Oh my. Very well. What's the DC on your save, sir?
It is... I believe it went up. Hold on a second.
Should have gone up by 1.
Should be 25.
I think it's 20.
Same as mine because we just got expert spellcasting.
Yeah, I'm just dingus. Yeah, it's 25.
Wow. Well, I can tell you at least one person here just rolled a 1. So that's the thing. And that is going to be you. Okay. Right, roll your damage, sir. Huh. That's gonna be okay. The hag actually seems to get sort of scorched, not too bad, but definitely injured. Definitely injured. While the harpy that's been singing, hard to say what exactly happened, but she may have thought it was a an animal companion coming in, or maybe she thought Eodi was throwing her a snack. No matter what, she flies straight into the path of the fireball, taking it straight to the chest as it goes off, and is instantly immolated.
Wasn't that the one that charmed us?
Yes, it was.
Mhm.
Nice.
Because Eodi's fireball with maximum damage times 2 does less than 5 hit points more than she has, but still more than she has.
Kaboom.
Good shot, Yodi.
Shouting something was a free action, right?
On your turn, yes.
Okay.
Speaking of on your turn, scuttle, scuttle, scuttle. Out of the water next to Estrella, a giant crab comes out of the water.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
And it is going to try to attack her. And she dodges the attack and the grab. It's going to try with the other claw. She does get pinched, but not grabbed. For 16 piercing damage. And again, scuttle, scuttle, scuttle. Up next to Warren. Another of your favorite critters. The crab. And it's going to try to pinch him. Nope, Warren is too fast for it. Both claws just snap air as Warren easily dodges them, having seen this movie before, and not falling for it today. Herko looks at Eodi. Everything seems fine back here, sir.
You know what to do, Herco. You do not need me.
He is going to take a running jump. And that is, let's see, 30 feet. Oof. Unpleasant for him. He lands here, and he lands in deep water, and is going to have to make an athletics check. However, even in full plate armor, you see him kind of grabbing hold of the very, very steep ledge and pulling himself up, but he doesn't get to do anything else because he's too busy almost drowning. That takes us to Mador.
Question. I click on my character and I can see this harpy way over there.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot at that one.
I can see that. Yeah, the map is giving you line of sight when I look. So
I'm going to reload. It said takes 2 turns, and
Yep.
then I'm going to fire.
This map is from the Wilderness map pack made for Pathfinder, specifically by Pathfinder. So those are about $18, but they are damn nice.
And-
Oh boy!
Thank God there's nobody on my side there.
Yeah. The shot goes off. You almost hear like a thunk and somebody going like, "No, I'm just gonna pull it out of her throat. It's fine." And then the moment of deja vu is over for Medora, and he kind of gets hold of himself, wondering what the hell happened there for a moment.
That's all my moves.
Preacher, it is you, sir.
Well, can I get around that crab and charge the blood hag?
You could try tumbling a boot over it, yes.
Then I will do so. I will attempt so. I'll save the move until I know I'm past it. Otherwise, I'm going to be stopping at it.
Very
So,
well.
Acrobatics.
Athletics. It's not super good, but then again, I don't think this crab is ridiculously good at what it does. It is actually damn good at what it does. Crab is going to get an attack of opportunity, and if it hits you, it is going to stop you. Not only does it hit, no, Preacher's got excellent. It grabs as well, stopping Preacher cold as he gets over to the other side here, and causing 21 piercing damage.
Then I got a surprise for him. Since he's touching me now, he's gonna get 2 fire damage constantly each round because I have inner fire going.
Oh, well, he doesn't seem to enjoy that very much. Ooh.
Let the cooking begin.
Did you say 21?
Yes. Yeah,
That's
you
a
just need
lot.
to get some butter on that one.
Seafood and eat it, boys.
All right.
That was one action for Preacher, though, I believe, so you still have 2 more.
Yeah. Did he grab me, or did I go past him?
He grabbed you.
All right. So I'm actually basically in the same square. Okay.
Yep.
Well, in that case, if he grabs me, I can grab him. So I'm gonna be wailing away at him. Let's do 2 first of the embers. That's the flare blows, by the way.
And one of them is a critical. I think the other one's a miss. Yep. The one's a crit.
Very nice. And that's a hold shift and tap that.
Oof. Yeah, he definitely feels those blows. Or it. It's hard to say. Could be a she. It's a crab.
True enough. Well, I'll continue pounding then because I have 2 attacks left.
That's another critical. Mm-hmm.
Does he want another one?
Yeah, he wants another one. You're fairly certain. It also seems like punching this thing is pretty effective. Did you, by the way, remember that you were hasted?
Yeah, that's why I took the move action as a haste action, and then I'm
Ah.
pounding away using 4 attacks.
That's gonna be 30. Yeah, no, he's very, very weakened. The shell is cracked every which way due to Preacher hammering at it. There's some steam coming out of it as well, from the claw that's holding him.
By the way, here's an extra 2d6 of fire damage from 2 criticals, since I do have the fire specialization, so he's persistently on fire now by 3 and 4.
Right, in that case, he is actually both dead and cooked.
Nice.
So, pretty much just gonna need some butter and food's on.
God dang. I'm done.
Now I'm hungry. Dang it. Okay, that takes us to Magnus.
Okay. Okay, Magnus is going to advance to right behind Estrella. And then he's going to cast Lay on Hands. Last action is going to be to move.
You gotta respect the squares. There we are. Well, he does heal Estrella for quite a bit, so she's feeling much better. And that takes us to Marisol.
Yeah, so I'm gonna shake my head because I'm suddenly not. I can't even remember why I wanted to go to that harpy, and I'm gonna look straight at the hag, and I'm gonna swear I'll kill her. I'm gonna aim, and by God, I hope I hit.
Time for crit fail number 4.
Shh.
Well, oof. It is rough being Marisol, but the second one there is a hit.
Nice.
She does get shot, and see, she seems to be injured by it.
And she has 6 persistent fire damage.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to bother her particularly much.
Then I reload.
Very well. That takes us to Estrella. Ella.
Estrella is shouting, "They will be aiming for Marisol." And then, since I suddenly feel a lot better and my head isn't hurting as much anymore, I want to leap over to the other side. I have a normal movement rate of 35, so that should be barely enough to reach the other side. Well, 120. The squares are difficult. The edge, there was, when I measured, it was like a 20 to reach the edge, but I didn't move.
Yes.
So now it's a
The,
30.
You managed to jump.
All right.
This is the one that was there, though. Put the wrong critter up.
Thought a giant crab came out for roaring.
Yes.
And
I put the giant crab where it was supposed to be.
After leaping, I will try to go into stealth again, hoping that this time the bush does not fall down.
Crossing our fingers.
And since I think I am now hidden, I am just going to change my position a bit to move from where they saw me land. And that will be to the edge over here to the bush.
Okay. Clever. Hum. The other harpy actually seems to have decided that this is some bullshit and she ain't going to be playing around. The blood hag. What's the range on this thing? Let me have a look. See. Oh. Really? Well, she's just gonna throw bolts of fire, obviously. She is going to be aiming for. Who is she going to be aiming for? Going to be aiming for not Marisol. Going to be going for Preacher, I think. Seems like the only good option for her. That is 1 hit, 2 hits, and 1 miss. But that means she gets him for 13, and then 24 fire damage total.
Question: is that
Yes,
an arcane effect?
Yes, I'm going to say it is.
Which level in that case?
We are going to say level 5.
Okay. Do I get any kind of saves?
No.
All right. In that case, I've got 5 deduction on each, plus another 4 from my levels and my inner fire. So I'm deducting 9 from each of those.
Yeah, so that'll be then 5 and 15 fire damage.
Yep.
Right, that takes us to Edamir.
I will reach spell. Sudden bolt her again.
Right.
So 25 reflex save.
You gotta roll a 25. Boom, boom, boom. That is a critical success.
So no damage.
dodges that one. And I assume
And-
Roran wants to do something.
Yep, Roran will attack twice.
Whew, so close to a critical. That's one hit. Man, when Roran goes a chomping. That is 2 hits. Roran's causing some serious damage to that thing.
And that'll be my turn.
Yeah, you can hear his jaws are
Crunch,
crushing
crunch.
through that shell pretty effectively. It is a Monsieur Tumult.
I am going to cast another Searing Light at the hag.
Okay. That is a hit.
Is she susceptible to good as well as fire?
Susceptible to fire?
Well, it's a fire spell, but if she's
I believe that's if she's fiend or undead.
fiend or undead.
Nope. She's not, doesn't have any extra weaknesses, no. Except for the fact that fire does not seem to have the effect on her that you'd like it to have. She's slightly singed, but obviously quite resistant. Anything else Temmel's going to do?
I will move. Up behind this bush. Unless that's the one that Strella knocked over, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, right up behind Magnus and Preacher then.
Gotcha. Boom, 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 boom. That's amore. This hill giant's gonna go up and look for Estrella. Was you? No idea. Must have fallen in the river and drowned, she can hear him muttering. Pretty certain she's dead. The other one here is going to yeet a rock at... it's actually going to move first, and then yeet a rock at Marisol. Hitting her for 21.
Yeah, I'm pretty hurt, guys.
Giant number 3 is going to move up behind her, and he's going to yeet a rock at the Preacher, because he's the one in front. That's an actual critical, hitting Preacher for 35.
Remember, you can pet the fox for healing.
The other Hill Giant's going to move up, yeet a rock at Preacher. This one misses. And that takes us to Yodi.
Yes. Let's see. I'm gonna bust out the wand of continuous missiles, and I will do a 3-action magic missile on the Blood Hag.
Very well. Fair amount of damage.
Pew pew! And that will be my turn.
Ow! She did not like that very much. And that was Iodi. The crab. It's going to keep trying to squeeze Roran. And it's still missing. The crab is getting nowhere. And Roran is easily defeating it by virtue of being Roran. Heshko's going to move in and smacko it twice. Does he have any bludgeoning weapons? He does not. So he's just going to have to go at it with his Orc Neck Splitter. But he is laying into it with that axe. Doing what damage he can, but obviously not as effective as Preacher's fists were, or Roran's jaws. Mador, it is you, my good sir.
Okay, I'm gonna use all my action to move up. It should be 75 feet.
Like, see, 30, 65 to
Just
there.
until I get in contact with an enemy. How's that sound?
That will get you there roughly. Whoop. Yeah. Unless you want to try swimming in a very deep and strong river wearing armor, which is a possibility if you want to do it.
No.
No. Kind of assumed you didn't.
I already had
Didn't
my
want
bath
to.
for the month.
Yeah. So that's gonna be your movement getting up there. That takes us to Monsieur Preacher.
Preacher is looking very, very weak. I shake out one of my potions, one of the ones that Yoda gave me.
Yeah.
So, how much did that do?
I believe EOD remembers.
Let me look it up real quick.
3d6 plus 6. It's what I noted down at least.
Same.
Three d6 plus 6.
Yes, 3d6 plus 6.
And I rolled 11.
Oh,
That's gonna be 11 hit points back. Well, it's more than nothing.
Yep.
You'd be lying if you said Preacher was in great shape, though.
Yeah. Very much so. I don't think I can chug another potion right now, so
Well, why wouldn't you be able to?
well, I can try, of course, having one of the old ones. We did have. I'm looking through my list of stuff in my sleeves. I have noted minor elixir of life, 4 of them, so I guess I can take another one.
Yep. Go for it, good sir. Chug them potions.
16. Something. Quick math. There we go. All right. With my 2 remaining actions, I'm gonna close up with this chick. She's how much further is she? 30. I should have enough to hit her once with a flurry.
Right. So, as you're moving up, the giant moray eel that's been in ambush since the fight started, whoom, snaps up, and Preacher's actually going to be flat-footed to its attack.
That's a moray.
That's a moray. However, even flat-footed, Preacher manages to smash or zoom past it.
Very nice. Okay. Hello, Blood Hag. All right. I'll do a flurry of blows on this person. Let's see. There we
Raw.
go. My second attack is actually going to be a combat grab. So if I manage to hit this, I actually am holding on to the person. It's a grapple.
Well, the grab actually hits.
So
First
she'll
one
take-
doesn't.
yeah, she'll take the damage from the grab though. Ooh.
Man, you are hugging very inappropriately.
Yep, and she'll take 2 inner fire as well. And unless she manages to shake it off, she's going to be grabbed and flat-footed for the remainder of until next round. If she
Is
does,
there any, how does she? What does she roll to shake that off?
just an escape. But I do have clinch strike, meaning if she does escape, I will be able to hit her with an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
have a question. She was
Yes, sir.
already on fire with persistent fire damage.
Yep.
Does that hurt Preacher?
No. Preacher's made of clay. He can hold on to a lady that's only slightly on fire. Also, she is resistant enough to that fire that it has actually gone out by now. Because it wasn't causing any damage. That takes us to Magnus.
That giant moray eel. Okay, it's a square above Magnus's path. This area in the middle where the eel is, it's rocks and shallows, is that right?
Shallow enough that it's no higher than about your mid-thigh.
Okay. And Magnus is going to take a 25-foot step there.
Very well. He's now next to a very large eel.
He is. And he's going to try and hit it.
Home, 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 home. What is the armor class with giant moray eel? High enough, actually, that 19 is not a hit.
He's not going to pause there. He's going to move up there next to Preacher instead.
I'm going to need a DC 12 athletics to get through that brush. Yeah, fair enough.
I know. And that's 3. I think that's my turn.
Marisol, it is you, lady.
Well, I'm gonna start by chugging one of those potions myself. I get 20 back. And then I am going to aim at the hag again.
Hmm.
And miss.
That's a miss.
But fortunately, this is just a normal shot, and I do not catch fire from that.
That's true. And this time it's Estrella.
All
Hello.
right, so I still think I'm pretty good hidden from him. He didn't see me, so I want to sneak up to this hill giant here. I don't actually know what field I need to be in his reach. Or that he's in reach of my, that is. And I am going to attack him with my, corrosive dagger.
Ooh.
So if he really didn't see me, he should be flat-footed.
Bum, 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 bum. That is entirely correct. That's a hit.
So that is this. It did not take the acid damage in as well, I think.
1d6 acid damage was added, I see.
Oh, it was added. Okay, so the acid damage is 4, if I read the text correctly.
That is entirely great, ma'am.
So you have 8 sneak damage and 2 persistent bleeding damage.
Ooh.
Since I twist the knife.
Oof. Nasty.
Uh-huh. Too bad that I had to move one step to get close to him. But I will try to draw him somewhere else. So I'm going to run up here behind that bush. And that is 3 actions.
Okay. It's the Blood Hag's turn. She's staring Preacher in the face like, no, I'm not going to let you kill me like you've killed my sisters. You think you have got me? I will show you. And then she kind of grabs the top of her scalp and tears her skin off. So
Okay.
this disguise, the skin that she tore off somebody else, drops to the ground, and she is now just an amorphous blob of fire and light. That is going to fly up into the sky to get away. But first, however, she is exploding. So that is going to be DC 26, a reflex save for anybody within 20 feet of her. So that's mostly bad for the bad guys. But a DC 26 reflex for you guys as well. Preacher takes no damage whatsoever. Finn, who I could hear cursing from the other room, even though he had his mic muted, takes 32 fire damage. And one of these giants is about to have a real bad time because he's taking a lot of damage as is. And really can't deal with that sort of shenanigans, so he dies. Blah. From fire, she flies off into the sky. You're not certain what she's screaming in Jotun. It sounded like "I'll get you, Tenacious D," but you've never heard of that adventuring group, so she was probably just pronouncing Dark Thorns weirdly. And that takes us to Edmia.
How far did she go?
She is 180 up currently.
Darn. Well, I'm gonna yell to the hill giants, like, look how your master abandons you. We should, y'all should just get along. And diplomacy.
Roll your diplomacy.
Darn it.
Well, they seem like they're seriously considering what Edmir just shouted at him.
And I'll just move up to there.
That takes us to Tumult. Oh, my bad.
The crab's not a hill giant. It's not going to understand. So, Roran's going to attack the crab.
Very difficult to do any diplomacy with the crab. This is entirely true. It's not a language. Crustacean is not a language spoken by most people. That's a hit. Ooh. Though even with that poor damage, you can hear the crab kind of creaking as Roran's just kind of chewing his way through it. And it is flanked, so that's also a hit. Yep, and Roran finally gets through into the delicious crab meat. And that crab is dead.
And that'll be it.
Right, and that was Edemir's turn. It's Tumult. What does Tumult want to do? Might want to unmute himself first, because I see the mouth moving.
Muttering to myself anyway.
Okay.
Fair.
I'm going to take a 5-foot step over.
A 25-foot step.
That's not where I wanted to go, but...
No, that's fine. That didn't look like a 5-foot step.
And where did the map go? What the heck just happened?
Ah, that is what we call the classic fantasy ground switcheroo, where it decides to show you things you didn't ask you for it to show you, and won't show you the stuff you wanted it to show you. Wow, this thing has pockets? Why? Fuck me, I was not aware. It's got pockets.
Sound like a girl when she finds out her dress has pockets.
This was like so random right now.
I couldn't be happier. This is an outstanding shirt.
Wow.
I expect that's how ladies feel when they find out a dress has pockets.
Yes.
I would expect so. The feeling of joy is overwhelming.
Lovely. The hill giant on the point, just north of me, I guess, is getting a divine lance.
Okay.
I am still trying to find the window because everything closed. Sorry.
That's it. Right, yeah. He's slightly injured. Not too injured, but slightly injured. That was... What else is Timold gonna do?
Yeah, well, I would try the diplomacy or whatnot action, but I don't really have any luck with that. So I will just insult its mother and tell him to leave.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, the hill giant, you just divine lance. He goes, him call truce, but no truce. Make him pay for treachery. Kill all friends. Kill him last. And then he is going to move up here. And swing his club at Estrella.
Nimble dodge.
That is actually a miss due to the nimble dodge. He is going to swing again, though. And that is also a miss. The nimble dodge keeping Estrella alive by the skin of her teeth. However, he does have a buddy. And, well, they were just both insulted and offered a truce that never materialized. So now they want to get some revenge. Well, that's not a critical, but it's going to hurt. Estrella is smacked for 19. And then she is smacked for 21 bludgeoning. But she is still kicking, so it's all good.
Mm.
What's the worst that could happen? This gentleman here, he's moving up like him say truce, no make truce, very rude. And then it's going to swing at both preacher and well, first one is a complete miss as both Magnus and preacher dodge it, but he's going to do it again. Sorry, I was a Canadian from South Park there for a moment. He misses both of you again. Now it's Eodi's turn.
Let's see. Well, I get the free magic missile. I'm going to hit the hill giant who's swinging at Magnus and Preacher.
Gotcha.
And I think I'll just burn another 3-action magic missile and dump 3 more into him.
Right. Eodi gets his gat and goes brap, 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 and that hill giant falls with 4 smoking holes in his torso, now very dead.
Pew!
As he tumbles into the water, the two moray eels, now having a much bigger meal than expected, leave the field. Herko is going to try again the jump. Die Jumpen, as it's said in Germany. He sprints up, stumbles, and actually pushes Temolt, so I'm going to need a DC 19 reflex save from Temolt to not get yeeted into the lake or the river. Nope. Temolt ends up in the very powerful waters of the river, so I'm going to need, let's see, Temolt's wearing armor as well. So that's going to be a DC 19 athletics check to manage to not get swept away and be pulled under by the water. Temolt is fine. He is managing to stay up, keeping his head above the water, as they say. Yeah, you can hear Herko in the background in the bushes going, "Apologies! I did not mean for you to be pushed into the lake." It's Mador's turn.
Right, I'm gonna sprint. I'm not gonna try jump. I'm gonna risk that. Sprint around and head up toward where Estrella is.
Right.
That'll be all my movement.
So that'll be 75. You'll get there currently. Probably won't be a bad thing for the party to consider buying Mador some boots of speed or something like that. Preacher.
Can I say something while he's pausing?
Yes.
Stop.
Well, he doesn't seem to be stopping.
All right.
What?
Then I'm gonna take a look at my friend Magnus standing next to me, and I'm gonna estimate how much he weighs.
Ooh. With armor, gear, everything else, he's probably a good 400 and 450 pounds.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I can magically lift that with my lifting belt.
Actually, you do have the magical lifting belt, so yes, you can lift Magnus without getting any penalty for it. As long as he's not on the horse.
I don't think he is currently. Is he on the horse?
Not as far as I know. What's the
I-
motion
if you-
speed of a mounted knight?
If he was on the horse, he would probably have remembered that horse has horseshoes that lets it run on water. So I'm going to assume he's not on the horse.
Okay.
This fight would have looked completely different.
In that case, I'm gonna try and yoink him, activate my lifting belt, run and jump over here. It's only
Okay.
a 30-foot jump from the edge over there, so I should be able to make it with a good athletics save.
So Preacher just kind of cinches his lifting belt, starts pumping Magnus, and is going for a running jump.
Preacher, what you got in mind? Help my Bob!
That is going to cut it, and yes, the two of you have now crossed the river. Although Magnus is feeling a mite discombobulated.
Oh, that was great. Can we do it again later?
Nope. How many actions did that take?
That is going to take 3 actions, so you have 1 left.
Okay, then I'll just head up behind the closest one. We'll take the further one.
All right. I'll put you there because I assume that's where you want to be going, where you get to punch through it. That takes us to Magnus, who he needs an airline sickness bag, but other than that, he's feeling just fine, and he is on the right side of the river.
No, Magnus is fine with heights. Okay, we're going to use 2 turns and move up with Preacher to that hill giant.
Wow, I just noticed there's actual water distortion on the rocks between those islands. These official Pathfinder maps are expensive, but they're very high quality.
Oh yeah, they're very pretty. Last turn is Wham.
Whammo, or die Wammen, as they say in Germany. That is a hit. Mm-hmm. Schmack. He knows he's been punched.
Yep, I believe that's my turn.
Marisol.
Yeah, I'll aim and shoot at the first hill giant.
You do not have line of sight from where you are.
According
It's
to
a
map, I
big
do.
old bush in the way.
But okay, I'll move to the bridge then.
According to the map, interesting.
I saw them.
Well,
Yeah, for
according
some
to...
reason, it's acting like she's taller than she is.
Yeah, she should not have. Not unless you got on her on her broom. But from I remember, she's not on that currently.
No, I couldn't be shooting from the broom anyway.
No. Well, there we are. That should, unless it's gonna get a +4 AC because you are shooting through a very thick piece of brush, but you can't see part of a leg.
I ignore cover.
Well, in that case, it's not gonna get any +4 AC. Lucky for Temelt, you killed that hill giant last turn, so those 2 more eels left, or he would have been having a real bad time right about now. That is a hit.
18.
Mm-hmm. This one was uninjured, but it seems inconvenienced. That takes us to Estrella.
Yeah. I hope you didn't forget his bleeding damage.
Not now that you mentioned the acids.
All right, so I do not like the position I'm in. You said the one she shot was uninjured, but wasn't that the one that is below me? Wasn't that the one that I injured already?
That could very well be. We just switch those hit point holds around. There we are. Still not very injured. Slightly
Alright.
inconvenienced.
Since I certainly do not like the position I am in at all. How strong is the current of the river?
Looks very strong. Like it's white water and pretty deep. No, it's not really white water, but it's pretty deep, and you can see the current moving on the top of
Okay.
the river. So enough to be worrying, but
Okay,
well,
and
Estrella's a very strong swimmer. She may have a chance.
just one more thing to check. Chucking a potion was 1 or 2 actions?
One action.
All right.
I do believe you also have the fancy sleeves that lets you pull it as a free action. If not, it's going to be 2 because you need to pull it as well.
I have it in my belt pocket. Does that count?
No. Sadly not. If you get the correct type of belt, it will, but I know for a fact none of you have gotten that yet.
Well, in that case, I am going to risk it and I want to get past the one on top. Hopefully not. They're both in reach of me, so I will probably get 2 attacks of opportunity. I will try to get behind Magnus. So through that field there.
Very well.
Athletics. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Oh my. That is a fail. So she is actually going to take those attacks of opportunity.
When I activate my warding tattoo, I get a +1 when I get an attack now.
Okay, good to know. So what
And I
is
also get a resistance 2 to the damage I take.
nice? So the first of the hill giants kind of grabs hold of Estrella as she is jumping through, and holds her up. And the other hill giant kind of has his hand out to Preacher and Magnus, and his club up, kind of like showing that he could punch her now if he wanted to, but he chooses not to whack her.
Oh, I don't like that. He grabbed me, so I still have my corrosive dagger in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, like a little bee, I will try to sting.
Okay, nice. That is a big hit.
Yeah, I can imagine he doesn't like that.
Probably not, no. $29. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Of course, the one that was showing that he could whack Estrella if he wanted to, now that she has stabbed his friend real badly, is going to try to do that exact thing. That's a hit. And he smacks Estrella for 24.
So that is 22 that goes through. This isn't good. This isn't good because she falls unconscious.
Oh dear. Well, in that case, she'll stay in the square she was in.
Doesn't he let me fall when he hurt pretty bad?
Yeah, he has let her fall.
I'm going to
In the square he grabbed her.
Couldn't you have me let fall down in front of Magnus?
Well, I could, yes, but I don't see why I would.
That would be far too easy.
I'm going to reaction Mutter's intervention.
What and the what now?
Shield the creature in dire need with your own life force, taking the harm upon yourself to save their life. The target is reduced to 1 hit point instead of 0, and all remaining damage prevented this way is done to me.
Okay, so that means you take 21 damage, and Estrella is at 1 hit points.
And
Also,
we're both wounded 1.
Shoggy, when Estrella was grabbed, wouldn't that be the key for a liberating step?
You have to tell me the liberating step is used before we're several minutes past that point of play.
Yep, I know.
But it could have been, yes. Right. That takes us to Edamir, actually. Who now has a headache as if he was just clubbed in the head with a huge friggin' log. Probably not too happy about that.
Going to move up to Herko and be like, don't worry, Herko. Zara isn't here right now to see you mess up on your jumps, but you might want to practice that. And I'm going to cast Protector Tree underneath Tumult.
Okay.
After I giggle at the wet raccoon in the water.
Yeah, so there's a massive splash as a tree pops up from the bottom of the river, and Tumult is now in its crown, out of any danger of drowning.
And then I will have Roarin attempt to jump. Let's see, athletics.
Roarin is the best doggo. It just kind of flies over there.
And that'll be my turn.
You're pretty certain you saw like a Nike logo in the background as Roarin just gracefully flies over and lands. Okay, it is Tumult's turn. Now finding himself He was from a moment ago on dry land, and now he's in the branches of a tree in the middle of the river.
And soaking wet.
The tree wasn't there 5 seconds ago either.
All right. I would like to get down off the tree and over to Estrella. Will I still have one action left if I do that?
I'm going to say it's a DC 5 for you, having probably grown up getting in and out of trees a lot to get out of that thing without losing any movement speed.
Acrobatics or athletics?
Yeah, dealer's choice. Yeah, easy enough. So you have 30 move speed. Yeah, you can get up there and still have one action left.
Then I will do the. How do I get the map back? God dang.
You asked me to share it, and it should.
Yeah.
If you closed it, it should pop up.
Gotcha. There we go. And then I still don't know how I closed it. I will cast Heal on Estrella.
Very well. So that's a one action. That's going to be what, D8 plus.
It's a D10 plus.
Oh yeah, right. But you're not
Is
casting the
there any
boosted one,
pluses?
so it's just a D10.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a D10.
It's something. I mean, going up from 1 to 6 hit points is basically a 500% increase in durability for her.
And that ends what I can do.
Right. The hill giants are actually just going to wade out into the river, both of them, eating any attacks of opportunity that you want to be throwing out.
Magnus is going to hold his hammer up, showing that he's letting them go. We said truce. Fair.
Did
I mean,
we?
we said truce, but then somebody
Aye.
had to
Yeah.
cast a spell on him.
Aye, and they hit us back. We let them go. And watch. Meanwhile, get Estrella.
I'm going to holler back out to them. It's like, sorry! In the moment, and then cast another heal spell.
There was a misunderstanding.
If anyone that's hurt could get over here, and I will cast a large heal spell.
Yeah,
Ow.
looking at Estrella, her usually red hair does have a different hue of red, and it's very sticky right now.
You could pet the fox for some healing.
If the fox were somewhere in my reach.
Kind of the same. As soon as this Marisol is within 30 feet, I will cast the large area heal spell.
Yeah. Right, and on that note, unless anybody has any scenes, we are slightly over time, starting up now an hour earlier and ending an hour earlier so that people get some slightly healthier sleep schedules. So thank you everybody for joining in.
Magnus is just going to step up right next to Estrella for when Timult cast his heal.
We are noticing that anything involving bridges and rivers is very, very dangerous, not for Estrella particularly, but for Xian as a player.
Especially when hill giants are involved.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
on that note, however, we will be back at 1700 CET next Sunday, unless anything untoward should happen. So until that point, you all stay safe, stay healthy, and be well. This video will be going up on the YouTubes sometime tomorrow evening. And we'll see you all next weekend. If you have any questions and you only follow us on Pathfinding Adventures, you can check out Twitch TV/Tolmar, Twitch TV/Yankaisi, or Twitch TV/Shagatlicious, and start asking questions in the Discord there. You may even get answers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.